Coach Huseman, you look at the standings of the league, and you got JMU and Villanova up top, and Albany down at the bottom, and everybody else is pretty much smashed together in there. Villanova, excuse me, Delaware and Richmond included. I wonder how a coach looks at this sort of thing, and the challenges that are involved in dealing with a league where everybody's pretty much even.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, every game we played, we were evenly matched against all of them. Play here, play there, stop here. You get a win. Maybe you do that a couple times. Now all of a sudden you're in, playoff contention. But you see it all the way across the board. It just from week to week, you just don't know what's going to happen. And obviously William and Mary getting beat by Delaware last week kind of showed it that, I would say, right now, and I know Villanova beat James Madison, but the way James Madison's playing, they're probably on the top. And, Villanova's probably pretty similar to everybody else in the league. They got some games. They beat us late, won a couple games, and now all of a sudden they're sitting, in playoff contention. So it's nuts every week. You just don't know what's going to happen, who's going to beat who. But I can tell you what, if you look back at it, I would guarantee it comes down to turnovers. And, I know Villanova lost William Mary and turned it over 4 or 5 times. And so it does come down to that. And, but I think everybody's pretty evenly matched all the way across the board.
You mentioned turnovers. Turnover margin hadn't been Richmond's specialty here this year or last year, really. Is there some way to turn that around other than being careful with the ball? Is it when you get turnovers, obviously it's not always because you're a great defense. Stuff happens out there and you get turnovers sometimes. How would you assess Richmond's turnover margin performance?
Not good. We've turned it over too many times offensively. Way too many times. We can't do it. We're probably not creating enough on defense, but I think in some ways, turnovers defensively are great. We'd love to have them, but our third down efficiency is incredible. I mean, I think we're probably leading the league right now. So we're getting off the field, which is important. Obviously, turnovers are very important, but we can't turn the ball over on offense like we have and expect to beat good quality teams. So we have to improve on that. It gets emphasized, and and we're not in great shape there. We're probably, I would say, creating turnovers, we're probably middle to a little bit below middle. I think I haven't checked that, but our third down efficiency on defense has been really good.
Thank you, Coach Huseman.
Thank you, John.
Coach, you mentioned turnovers, and there was a lot to like with what Joe did last week against Towson, but the one turnover in the red zone led to 7 points the other way. When you have a player like Joe that's done so much and is so experienced, how do you handle that? Is it a mistake he knows he needs to clean up, or how do you help him work through that?
Well, sometimes, I mean, it's the quarterback's never going to be perfect. But, he called the wrong play off the wristband that kind of started the problem, and then he forced it in there, which exasperated the problem. Probably, he hung on the ball. Other than that, he threw the one pick, but we're fumbling it too much offensively. And, we gotta hang on to the football, especially this week. I mean, I think turnovers are going to be the difference in a game where teams are pretty evenly matched, both sides of the ball and in the kicking game. So, but, a quarterback's not going to be unscathed throughout the year as far as interceptions. And, and sometimes it's not all his fault either, Lane. I mean, whether it's a guy ran a wrong route, tip ball, ball through a receiver's hands. but obviously the one he threw was on him against Towson.
You had a couple of defensive scores, which really turned the tide of that game last Saturday and helped you all out amazingly. That defense has just had a workmanlike mentality all season long. But how much did those two scores really lift up that side of the ball?
Oh, it's huge. To go in to the locker room 21-10, when in theory it could have been a 10-7 game and we're struggling on offense a little bit. We didn't start out playing great defense, but then we adjusted, settled down, and started to play. But, like Towson, the fumble in the end zone, the quarterback had more than enough time to do something, and he didn't do something. I'm sure Towson coaches are asking him, why didn't you do something? Why did you just stand there and take the sack and then a sack fumble? And because he did have time, he either could have threw it away, done something, but he hung on. And then obviously Darius and Kobe getting a hand to strip it out of there was huge. But to have a 21-10 game instead of a 10-7 game was huge in the locker room.
And John had mentioned the parity in the league. Is this Delaware team perhaps the most like your squad from top to bottom? And if so, does the fact that Danny helped recruit a lot of these six-year seniors and he's up there now have anything to do with that at all?
There is a lot of parity, and Delaware is a lot like us. As far as the six-year seniors, we're only playing two of them, Darius Reynolds and Joe Mancuso. Now they're good players, and I thank Danny for bringing those guys in here. But it's really two guys. The rest of the football team, is on us as a staff here. All the other six-year guys aren't playing right now because of injuries. I believe those are the only two that are playing right now. But there is tremendous parity. Delaware's a lot like us. They're playing great defense. They're physical on defense. Offensively, they're kind of managing the game and finding ways to score some points, kind of like we are. So pretty similar football teams, no question about that. But Towson was similar. Stony Brook was similar. New Hampshire, they're down a little bit, but a lot of these games, I know Villanova's scoring a lot of points, and that's kind of a difference in their team, but they're playing good defense too. It's James Madison, Villanova, us, Delaware, on top of the league in defense. So all those teams are playing good defense. It just so happens that, James Madison's putting pretty decent offense and Villanova's putting a pretty decent offense in there too.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned about taking care of the football a little bit better. Has that been like a common theme in regards to the red zone issues offensively? We do emphasize it. I hear offensive coaches emphasizing it in practice. The ball's not now. We'll throw some interceptions in practice, as you're kind of getting ready, but the ball's really, not on the ground as much in practice. I think we have the one fumble and then the one interception this past week, and one of our wideouts fumbled the ball, and he didn't have it secured. It wasn't even like a big hit. Just kind of grabbed his arm and got the ball out. And, that can never happen. Sometimes, man, you get that pop right on the ball. Mm-hmm. I don't care who you are. You're not hanging on to that thing, but, just kind of get stripped and pulled, an arm pulled, or, stripped when you're going down. Those things, I know that's happened to Dykes a few times. Where he's going down and the guy's got a hand on it, and as he's going down, it gets away from his body and they pull it out. But we just, we can't throw interceptions. We'd rather run the football, scramble, than throw an interception. So I know Joe works real hard at it, and he don't mean to throw them. I promise you that. It's not like he came out and said, "Wow, I threw that pick. That's pretty good one I threw there." He doesn't want to. I promise you that. And it probably hurts him pretty good too.
Hey, Coach, what are your overall thoughts about your offensive line play this year?
It's been okay. Really good early. Sean, our guys have been so banged up. You give Clayton McConnell, Tim, Joe Moore, all those, they've been playing with injuries that people don't realize. And they're sucking it up. Be very easy. Well, we're 4-5 and we're not going to the playoffs. Be very easy for them to say, man, my knee hurts or my back hurts or my shoulders hurts. And these guys, they come out and practice every day. They're not 100% by any stretch of the imagination, but awful proud of that group because they do fight you. But I don't think people realize just how banged up they are, to be honest with you.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Sean.
Tyler, has this defense improved here in the last month? And in what areas, if that's the case?
So what areas have we improved in the last month?
In your view, have you improved? You've been pretty good all year long, this defense, but
Yeah, I
in the
think
last
we've been-
couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think we've been pretty consistent, throughout the year. I think one thing we still need to improve on is giving up the big plays. That's something we've been struggling with. But besides that, I think, overall, we've been pretty consistent throughout the whole year.
We've been discussing turnovers some, and Richmond's turnover margin isn't great and hasn't been great for a couple of years. What is the key to creation of turnovers to up that side of it?
I know, especially from a linebacker perspective, just getting the ball out, being more physical at the line of scrimmage, especially when there's a ball in jeopardy situation. Just we got to capitalize on opportunities like that. And I heard Coach Houston up here. Yeah, we're doing pretty good on third down, and we're competing with other top defenses in the CAA. But that turnover margin can really flip the momentum of the game, and that's something that we need to start pushing for more with these last two games.
Thank you.
Tyler, when's the last time you scored?
Oh man, that's probably senior year of high school. I don't even remember the last touchdown I had.
I do. It was Saturday.
Besides that one, of course. Yeah.
The crowd chanting your name on the sideline. And you talk about creating turnover, right place, right time. And you were just able to take advantage of it. Or was there something that you saw that put you in that position?
To be honest, I was wide open and he just kind of threw it right to me. I think the biggest part of that play is Kobe Turner's block. If you watch the whole thing, Kobe was running faster than anybody on the field, and I just made a cut off him. And like we've been emphasizing turnovers this whole time, and just to get the pick six was a great way to change the momentum of the game at that point.
How similar does Delaware's offense look to the one that you all face in practice every day?
Extremely. Oh well, I think they're more comparable to Towson. There's actually some family relationship there, so there'll be some carryover from last week that we're going to utilize this week.
Thanks, Tyler.
Appreciate it.
So,
Hey, go ahead, Bob.
sorry, Lane. Sean, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
So Tyler described Tristan's interception and the fact that you guys now don't have anything.
Yeah,
to
we've
get
been
on him.
messing with him all year. His time's been coming for a while now, and I was really happy to see him get that interception. He deserves it. I think it's takes the weight off of him a little bit because like I said, we've been messing with him throughout the whole year. And if you go back and watch that play, it looks like he was leaning back into the guy for contact. That man loves contact. So I was just really happy for him to see him be able to get that play.
Last home game, thoughts, emotions.
Oh man, I'm trying to push that one away. I don't like thinking about it a lot. But if I do have to talk about it, it's extremely emotional. My 5 years here, I have nothing but, a lot of love, a lot of family connections here that, I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. So, to, my football family, the alumni, the donors, former football players, just extremely grateful and thankful for this opportunity.
one more time, can you kind of articulate the importance of winning record and Capital Cup in a week, but you can't get to winning record without beating Delaware Saturday?
Yep, that's most important thing in their lives right now is beating Delaware. So, we're not really gonna focus too much on William and Mary. That'll be the week after, but we're just gonna keep our preparation the same as we have every week and go out there and beat the Blue Hens.
And Tyler, going back to the turnovers, do y'all do specific drills in practice to get that mindset of trying to create turnovers during the game?
Yeah, in terms of fumbles, we got a few drills set up in our individual sessions, just punching the ball out in various ways, various techniques. And then in terms of just coming up with interceptions, it's just hustling to the ball. Doesn't matter if we're in Skelly, if we're in a team period. We're competing for the ball each and every single rep. So, a combination of those factors is, I think, how we try to translate that over to the field on Saturdays.
And Bob was talking about, the goals the rest of the way with winning record and also winning the Capital Cup. What have you told the guys to kind of keep their heads, focused? They could have easily, pitched a tent, say, hey, the season is over. We don't, we're not making the playoffs. What have you said to them to kind of keep their focus on getting a winning record and winning that Capital Cup next week?
Not a whole lot, actually. I think everybody's really on the same page. We had a team meeting a few weeks ago and just to, establish that, we're all on the same page here. Doesn't matter what's happened in the past. We still got football season, a lot of games left. So, we're going to finish this thing the right way. We're going to play for the seniors, including myself. And, we're going to finish this season with a winning record. There's no other choice otherwise.
Thank you much.